Meanwhile, in the Smash Tower.
Alright, I made it. Looking at the sun on 171 angstroms here and trying to rush our way through the video as I go into a maelstrom of freezing rain death. In a bit, maybe. We see 0 sunspots. Anyway, here's the north polar view at 171 angstroms, looking at about 8 hours of solar activity here. There's the equatorial view. Those magnetic complex areas there are not sunspots. There's the south. Let's look at 304 angstroms. Those filaments we saw yesterday are still present in the southwest, as well as some filaments up north. Here's a magnetic view in 171 angstroms of that active region. So those are the areas to keep an eye on throughout the day, folks, these areas right in here. Now you notice the Space Weather Prediction Center, they've changed the look of their data, and it looks like it's higher res to me, and for that we thank you, X-ray flux, flatlined. Real-time solar wind showing a phi angle of 348 degrees. Solar wind density 7.17. Solar wind 360 kilometers a second. Very low solar activity, folks. And the magnetosphere reflects that. There's the data from ACE. Here's a geospace magnetosphere movie looking at the pressure, the magnetohydrodynamic pressure. And the pressure is weak, and we do see geomagnetic drift in both the South Pole as well as the North Canadian Pole, drifting down toward the U.S. Here's the data for that. It's global magnetic perturbations, folks. And again, that South Pole creeping into the Indian Ocean, you can see it happening there, as well as the Canadian North Pole creeping toward north-central U.S. Less perturbations over the Siberian North Pole. If you're wondering what we're listening to, it's Blacksmith. I'll share a link with you later in the video. And thanks to everybody who's attending the premiere. Back to data, the 10.7 centimeter radio flux remains at 70, where we drew the orange line. GOES magnetometer is looking pretty smooth. And again, we're enjoying that new look to the data. Nice job, Space Weather Prediction Center. Here's the GONE-2 data. Solidly in the South Pole-oriented portion of the current sheet, shown in red. Nothing to write home about there. KP index is at 1. We're going to skip cosmic rays, but if you'd like to cover them, we got links in the description for that also. I like the way they drew in the Space Weather Prediction Center alert threshold on the GOES electron flux. Again, nicely done, Space Weather Prediction Center. Cheers. Sometimes we appreciate our tax dollars at work, and this is looking better than it has before, so that's a good thing. Relativistic electrons are at a relatively moderate level. Here's the ionosphere, 6 hours worth. And we see charge-up anomalies at nighttime in the South Pacific once again. It's been going on for a while, and you can see it in the ionosphere there, south-southeast of Hawaii. Earthquake rundown does not include any 6+ magnitude quakes. Although here's a deep quake at Colombia. I'm sorry, Argentina. That one at 208 kilometers depth and a 4.3 magnitude. Here's a deep quake at New Zealand. That one's at 5.3 magnitude, 174.3 kilometers depth. Another deep quake at Argentina. That's 2 in Western South America, and we've just started. Here's an ultra deep quake over 600 kilometers at a 5.5 magnitude south of the Fiji Islands. If that happened at the surface, that would be about a 7 magnitude quake. Here's another deep quake at Chile. So South America seeing multiple deep quakes. And another one at Peru. Those both in the 4 magnitude range, the low 4s. We also see a few quakes in the central US there. Not going to really go over it. I just see it on the map. And let's move on to the pressure maps. Courtesy windy.com, who has a great mobile app. And I might be using it today, as I will be driving right into the maw of freezing rain, which may cause me to turn around and drive back to the lab and say, forget it. It's entirely possible. And we're just letting that advance there. You'll see where the pressure zones go, or are expected to go, courtesy the GFS model. And here's approximately tomorrow, about the time we made the video, and it's currently 4 a.m. Do you know where your pressure zones are? Let's look at the list of volcanoes. Mount Aso, flight level 6,000 there. Please don't pole vault Mount Aso. Sanjiangapi, 8,000 foot ash plume there as it explodes. Tokono, continuous emissions, flight level 7,000. Popocatépetl, volcanic ash detected in satellite. Please don't pole vault Popocatépetl either. Sabancaya, exploding, 26,000 foot ash plume. And Nevados de Chilean, exploding as well. Flight level 13,000 there. Please do not attempt to do a back handspring over the caldera of Nevados de Chilean. Here's where stuff is in the solar system. There's where it'll be in 1 week on December 8th. I just did math for you folks. Here's where stuff is above my head, as I'm always interested in the stars. And I'm in the market for a telescope, actually. That's going to be one of the additions to the channel coming in the year 2020. Today's star study is going to focus on Procyon, otherwise known as Canis Minor. It's a binary system located 11.46 light years from Earth. And these binaries orbit each other with a periodicity of 40.8 years. You want to read more about Procyon? We've left links to all of these pages. It's part of the Winter Triangle consisting of Sirius, Betelgeuse, and Procyon. And here's where it is in the local group, right there. And again, we've linked to all of those pages. We've got some power outages here showing 16,000 out in Alabama and 14,000 out in California, some minor events. Let's look at the lightning maps. And we see significant lightning hitting the U.S. Let's see who's in for it. Looks like some thunder snow. Shout out Toledo. I think there's thunder rolling in Toledo. Indeed there is. Bowling Green. And Fremont, you've just been struck by lightning. Lightningmaps.org. Here's what we're talking about the freezing rain that I'm about to possibly not drive into, as this looks like a disaster. Now, I work for a laboratory testing company, and our main role is food safety testing. We also do nutritional integrity testing, redundancy testing for other laboratories, and some chemical synthesis. And I'm part of the field management crew. And today I'm expected to drive right across those bands of freezing rain, which I'm not so sure is going to happen. Now, if you're interested in what the road situation looks like, check this out. Let me just show you a secret trick here on Google Maps. Now, everybody knows I'm not a fan of Google Maps, but the good news is they have a traffic layer. So just bring out your Google Maps, click on the traffic layer, and you'll be able to see the traffic situation in nearly real time, as this just tracks a bunch of folks. And we don't see any kind of red roads yet, so that's a good thing. This just basically tracks you if you have location services turned on. This will track you as you drive around, and if you're driving way under the speed limit, this will add to the data and possibly show a red road. So fully backed up roads are going to show up as like reddish black, dark red, and yeah. So check that out. increase your efficiency on the road by knowing where the traffic is and avoiding it before you ever get backed up. As being stuck in traffic is not where you want to be, ever. And we're back at the US Doppler radar. I'm just going to focus in on the low, which is right over eastern Iowa, it appears right now. We're just going to look at that area. You see that heavily rotating low pressure system there. And can you say bombogenesis? You're going to see massive pressure gradients here. Let's take a look. This is the kind of situation where conditions can suddenly change, folks. You can go from a clear day, it'll suddenly cloud up and start snowing, heavy winds just out of nowhere. And that low is massive. You can see obviously where it is. Massive convergence zone there over northern Wisconsin. Let's take a look. And there's that data on the water vapor map. Keep in mind, folks, when you're looking at the radar and you can't figure out what's going to happen next, just take a look at the water vapor map. It will show you all of the water vapor, including that which is not condensed onto clouds. In other words, invisible water vapor is not invisible to this satellite. And we can see this heavy moisture is about to be injected into my area, and that's going to suddenly increase the rain and snow. So we'll be looking at the temperatures, and that's going to determine whether or not I make it to a client located west of Harrisburg today, folks. It's all for food safety. It's not fun being part of the supply chain, as it never stops. Here's the eastern jet streams. Here's the western jet streams. And again, we're making this video a little extra short today because I could be involved in a natural disaster. Fortunately, I'm well equipped to deal with such things. Hopefully I won't have to jog home in freezing rain from 50 miles away. That won't be a good day. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel on Patreon. Patreon.com/smAsho. Our patrons get some information before everybody else, and we appreciate greatly you patrons being associate producers of the content. Thanks again, Smash Team, and we've got a bunch of bonus sequences here, so don't go anywhere. Also, if you enjoy the content, please press like and subscribe on YouTube, the main source of our content, although we are also uploading each video onto BitChute. That's bitchute.com/smAsho. We've got a lot of projects that are going on in the background here. Did you watch our video yesterday? We talked about condensed matter. And we talked about booms. We talked about the Smashenheimer Ranch project. And that is a solar gift boom. Are you in the market for a telescope like we are? Check out this deal. Kohl's is selling this Celestron 114AZ smartphone ready one for only $129. So if you're in the market for a beginner telescope, we are considering getting this small reflector and a solar filter. What a surprise. Are you interested in a t-shirt? We're looking at a price point of $25 plus shipping for this. And there's the design. It's a radio image of Cygnus A, along with the smashomash.org URL. And Cygnus A's other catchy name, 3C405. Named Cygnus A simply because it's the second strongest radio source in the entire sky, second only to, what's that? The sun. All right, moving on. Again, smashomash.org. Hey, Smash staff, get this thing going, or it's going to be curtains for you. Curtains. Or it might be Venetian blinds. Let's talk about plasma pics and Shannon Sims doing a fine job. Read this article about satellite galaxy versus cold dark matter. Good times, good times. Now this is Centaurus. If you want to read about Centaurus, it's also known as NGC 5128. We've left links to everything below the video. Read up about Centaurus. It's the kind of the nearest ultra-massive giant galaxy. And here's a composite image. This one shows X-rays in blue. And you can see these jets producing bubbles of star-forming regions out here on the on the outskirts of those galactic jets. And that has nothing to do with gravity, folks, as gravity doesn't rule the universe. Anyway, this one was discovered in 1826 by James Dunlop. And so read all about Centaurus A. It is also the 5th brightest galaxy in the sky. It's a great amateur astronomy target. And here it is, NGC 5128. That's where that's located. Again, we've left links to all that. If you're interested in the music we were playing Blacksmith because the sun is the ultimate blacksmith. And that track, let's see, it's reached all the way up to number 56 on the subgenre, which is, I believe, instrumental rock. Check that out. You can download it and add it to your MP3 collection for 99 cents, if you like. We also have some tracks on SoundCloud. Check the links for that also, if you like. And again, look for changes coming up in smAshomash.org. It better happen soon, because the shirts are coming. And now we've moved on to the That Is Censored, and that is a sinkhole where we talk about vulgarity-free information about the difference between your and a hole in the ground. It's just a pack animal. Your ass is just a pack animal. Well, do you own it? Do you own a pack animal? Anyway. Mike Bloomberg's running for president. It would be nice to have billions of dollars to waste on completely pointless presidential campaigns. Anyway, the former mayor of the Big Apple is complacent with a large base within a stone's throw of his ivory-towered offices. I'd imagine a New York state of mind, much as Hillary Clinton embraced, makes one feel as if they have the entire nation front and center and rearing to pull the ballot lever just for them. Why else would Madame Clinton skip every rural mile of the Midwest, Bible Belt, and Rust Belt states? That's Team Bloomberg's 2020 strategic strategy. Mike Bloomberg. He wants to ban guns and soft drinks. Mike Bloomberg. We had somebody yesterday asking about the primer cubes, the primer fields, etc. Check out primercube.org as it lists plans for you to build your own primer field setups, do your own plasma experiments, create this medical device free of charge. You can build it yourself or you can buy one. I don't really know that much about it. Hopefully we're going to vet this in the year 2020, as this kind of just came out of nowhere when David LaPointe suddenly posted a video on YouTube. So if you want to check that out, go to David LaPointe's YouTube channel. And yeah, the primer fields. Interesting physics, to say the least. And thanks again, Smash Team. Please don't forget to press like and subscribe. We are out of here. Remember to stare at the sun, not drink. And if you drink, stare at the sun anyway. Just don't drive. And since it'll never be now again, may the solar wind be at your back and the atherosclerosis absent from your veins.